I have things to say about the new Gen 7 LPS Collie and nobody to talk to about it, so I thought I would just put it here. I have some other non-LPS related videos on this channel, so this might seem like it's coming out of completely nowhere. However, many years ago, this channel used to be my LPS channel, so yeah. Fortunately, all the videos from that time have since been privated, and only I am allowed to watch them. Believe me, you aren't missing anything. But with all that said and done, I really want to talk about this collie and compare it to the G2 version, so I'm gonna just get right onto that. So, here is the new Gen 7 LPS collie. Now, obviously the first thing you'll notice is that it is a port-up collie. I have many things to say about this. I saw some people online confused about why they decided to go with a port-up collie instead of obviously the more traditional and commonly known regular all-four paws down collie. But I for one think that this was actually a pretty good idea. Not to mention this is the first collie that they ever are making, so you know, I have no doubt that they're going to be making original collies down the line. But if you know your LPS, you will know that there is only one other LPS with this mold, aside from this little guy, but you know, he's he's definitely an acquired taste. Personally, I think he's really silly goofy. I think he's cute. He's also pretty common. In my mind, when it comes to this, he doesn't really count for that sort of thing. So as for other LPS, there is only one other, and we all know who that is. This little fucker. Collie number 58, aka Sage Bond from LPS Popular, aka any popular football player in any LPS series ever. But primarily he is known as Sage Bond in the hit series LPS Popular, which makes him a nightmare for collectors to get a hold of. But even in the past few years since I got him, his price, along with others, has absolutely skyrocketed. But with that set aside, he is the only other collie of this mold. Therefore, I will be comparing him to the new one. So, here they are, side by side. Now, obviously, immediately, the designs are completely different. But that doesn't necessarily have to do with the quality or the mold, that's just, you know, the design that they chose. However, I do have some complaints. First of all, about the design and quality control, and second, about the mold. It's no secret that Gen 7 LPS have had significant problems with quality control. Some pets going with their paint completely disheveled, features like their eyes printed way off. I'll try to throw some examples on screen if I can find some. I myself even have an instance of getting a blind bag pet that did not have her little personality mark on her, which honestly, I actually think she looks way cuter without it, but that was a factory error, so There's something to be said about the different types, like the KX and the something else, but I'm not really going to speak about that because I haven't really done any research on that. I don't really know much, but I'll link some videos below about that topic, and so you can find more about that. But my first gripe about this pet is when we turn them to the side and you see the difference in their head shapes. The Gen 7's head is way flatter than the original. You can see here that it kind of curves around more, whereas this one just kind of slopes and it's very flat. The same goes for the front. I'm trying to make it so you can see, but this one, it just goes very flat. The original is more defined in that it has more of a curve, and also the muzzles are different. It's overall more prominent, whereas this one again is kind of flat and overall a lot smaller. A lot of people had problems with the Gen 7 short hair cats, which I agree with. The pegs were way too low down, which made it so that their heads were really tall. You could see the peg really easily, and they didn't really bubble like the old ones do. However, the collies don't seem to have this problem, but that might be just because it's a different type of peg. Even just holding them at the top of their head, it's so much flatter. The squishy problem actually isn't that big of a deal here. Obviously, in comparison to the old one, it's obviously way squishier, but it doesn't bother me. So that's my main gripes with the mold, and now I want to talk a little bit about the paint more specifically the airbrushing issues. So this pet has airbrushing on its face. You can see the design, and then there's like a really just prominent line, and then like a little bit of like dusting around it, and it doesn't look the greatest, if I'm being honest. It just seems that the quality of this face marking varies drastically pet to pet, which is obviously a big issue. I don't really have any issues with the body. I think that's pretty normal. Most of my issues when it comes to the actual mole is obviously to do with the head. So I'm actually one of those people who actually does like the overall design of this collie. I think it looks really nice, and I think the same with the short hair cats, especially the yellow one. I love her. She is my macaroni and cheese cat, and I love her. I will die for her. Obviously, I mean, I wish she could have came out a little bit better. She looks a bit goofy, but you know. I think they do look good in terms of their like concept designs. Obviously, I think we just all wish they could have been executed a little bit better. Okay, so those were my overall thoughts on the Gen 7 LPS Collie. I really do hope that Basic Fun takes into account all the criticism that we've been giving them, so that the next main 5 LPS could hopefully have a few improvements. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments, if you agree with me, or if you just have your own thoughts that you would like to share. I would love to listen and learn and talk to anyone about it, so yeah. That was basically it for this random out of nowhere video. You should probably expect more ramblings about LPS to come. I am very sorry.